Okay, that's just a new way of starting a video. All right. This is a video about using somebody else's phone. So if you've in a situation where you're using somebody else's phone, and this is not going to work again. Yes, it is. Good. Um, there's going to be a bit of a delay on this because I'm um, doing this to YouTube as well as doing a Wi-Fi between my phone and my PC. So what's on the screen there is my phone, and it's coming through via Wi-Fi, and it's going to be a bit slow. But anyway, we'll see how we go. The situation is, some time ago, my wife's phone packed in, so I sent it back to Kogan. They put a new battery in, and then they sent it back. Then it wouldn't charge, so I sent it back to Kogan again. All right, and they've just sent us an email saying the phone can't be fixed. They're going to send us another one. All right, which is a later model one at the same price, so it's all right, I suppose. Except you've been without a phone. While she hasn't got a phone, we started using an old phone or a couple of old phones, which are very old Android phones, and they weren't much good. So my daughter was with us, and she said, "Oh, I've got an old phone. You can use that, Mum." So she gave her that. Now the trouble is, when you get somebody else's old phone, first thing I need to point out is that we didn't want to wipe all the information or get rid of all the stuff from my daughter's phone in case she wanted to use it again. And that's a concern of my wife had. Okay, so we decided just to set up my wife's account on her phone. So the way you do that, I'll just show you if I swipe down with two fingers. Hopefully, is this going to work? Yes, it comes down. You notice the little lines coming down. That means I've used two fingers. I'm using a little developer option, and you'll notice a thing at the top of the screen which shows you where I'm pressing on the thing. So I'm going to press on the little start icon there. There's a little setting icon to go into settings. I'll press that again. So we go into settings, right? And under settings, if you want to have more than one person using, or no, this isn't. If you want to have more than one account on the phone, under phones there's a thing called apps. You can see as I'm drawing up there, it's drawing a line to show where I am. I'm putting my finger. There we are. Apps there. Okay. So under apps, all right. Sorry, not apps. My apologies. Under accounts is what I'm looking for, not apps, accounts. So we go down, we find accounts. There are those accounts. Got it. So I'm going to touch on accounts. Now, depending on how many apps you've got installed on a phone, depends on what accounts you've got. Notice I've got accounts for Google Messenger, Picture 4D Capture, I don't know what that is, Signal, Viber, and WPS Office. And also I can add an account. So if I want to add a new Google account, I would press on the plus there, down there to add an account. So I'm going to press plus there to add a Google account, or add an account, and ask me what type of account I want to add. And you've got all sorts of accounts. You've got accounts for, that's my quadcopter account. This is some other thing, Exchange, email account, Google accounts. Whoops, didn't mean to go into that. I'll go back. Right. So these are all the types of accounts. I'll just do that again. Add an account. Right. I've gone too far again. Come back too far. What happens when you press the wrong button? Okay, go back to accounts. Accounts. All right, I want to add an account. In this case, I want to add a Google account. So that means my wife wanted to be able to use her Google account on my daughter's phone. So that's what we thought we'd do. So we touch that. So touching that one there. So I touch that. Goes to Google. Whoops. I must have touched the wrong thing. Press WP Office. Okay, I'll add an account again. I want to add a Google account. Okay, goes away, checks information, wants to know, what your PIN code is. I don't have to worry about that. I touch it with my finger, checks some information, then I'll ask for certain information about, for example, what your account number and what your email, what your password is, and then it sets up an account. So I'm not going to do that because I've already got the account set up. So that's what we did. We set up an account, not a problem. Okay. So as a consequence of doing that, once you've set up an account, I'll just come out of this. I'll go into where the accounts are. I've already got an account set up. So under my accounts, I'll go in and have a look at my Google accounts. I've got a couple of accounts set up. I've got 2 Google accounts, my normal email address and a secondary email address that I use. Just when you've done that, it then asks you, what you want to synchronize. I'm going to show you what I'm doing on this one. So when you're setting up a Google account, it allows you to synchronize things like Calendar, Chrome, Contacts, Docs, Drive. And I'd imagine this is all very confusing for lots of people as to what you want to synchronize and what you don't want to synchronize. Most people probably don't even know what these things are. Some of them I don't even know. For example, I've got Google Play Music switched off, Newsstand switched off, Google Plus Sync switched off, People Details, well, that's actually switched on. People Details is probably your contacts, I don't know, right? But anyway, that's what we did on my wife's phone. That wasn't a problem. Got that all to work. Got an email to work, not a problem. The big problem we had, though, was this thing here. So we'll just come back and I'll show you what this is, all right? One of the things that we use on our phones is so that we can keep track of one another. Especially my wife goes to work 1 day a week and she catches the bus home. So I like to, she'll ring up and say, I'm catching the bus. So rather than having to ring her and tell me where she is, I can track where she is via Google location services. And the way that's done is within Google Maps. So here's Google Maps here. All right. See Google Maps. I'm going to touch Google Maps right here. And that is the problem that we've got at the moment. All right. You'll see that there it's showing there are 2 people there. All right. I'll just show you how location services works. On Google Maps, once you've set it up, I'm not going to show how to set it up here, but on Google Maps, if I go into the menu up the top here, right? I'll just come back there to show you what I did. That's the menu up the top there. All right. I go into the menu and then you go to location sharing, which is that bit there. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go into that. It says, show me the location, and we've got our family. That's myself on the left there, my wife Margaret, and my daughter Christy. But if you notice, I press on M for Margaret, all right? It says that she's there. And I press K for my daughter Christy. It says she's in exactly the same location. Well, at the moment, she isn't. She's somewhere completely different to that. So the big problem we've got is that Google thinks that both my daughter and wife are using the same phone, and as a consequence, it puts them in the same location as far as Google location services are concerned. All right. So we thought, how do we fix this? Right. So we tried a number of things. First thing we tried to do was, I think, switch off location service and switch it back on again to see if we do it. That didn't do a thing. Both said it's in the same situation. We tried another thing that we thought, perhaps it isn't just the accounts there. Perhaps it's something to do with what's called users. And we found there's another thing that is unique to each particular person using the phone is a user. So in addition to having accounts on a phone, you've also got users on a phone. Let me show you what that is. I'll press going back to the main menu, and then I'm going to double swipe down again with 2 fingers, as you can see there. Right, then let go. And then I'm going to touch a little cog there, which is settings. And under settings, there's a thing called somewhere here. I'm just trying to find it. I can never find it there. Users. So I'm currently signed in as Jeff on my phone, right, where users are. So I'll touch that for users, all right? And you can have multiple users on one phone. Now, users seem to be completely independent of accounts. So accounts are for various apps, but users are for whatever. So, for example, you can have a guest user. Just to show you what happens when you've got a guest user, I'll show you here on the phone, all right? If I come back to my main screen there, and I scroll down from the top twice, either scroll down twice or double finger to scroll down, you'll notice to the left of the settings button, and this will be different on different phones, there's a little button there that says users. If I touch that, I can go to either Jeff as a user, a test user, or add add a guest or add another user. If I go to test, and hopefully this is going to work, if I touch that there, it says switching to test. All right. And it's not going to come up on this screen because I haven't got that application running on that screen that you can't see. But what I'm looking at on my screen now is a different user. All right. I'm looking at a completely different user on the screen. I've got a completely different screen and I've got different settings on it and everything like that. I can't show you that, unfortunately, because I've switched to a different user, and that app that I was running on, which is this program I'm using to do that, won't allow me to see that user on that because I'm using a different user. And in fact, I haven't even got it on the phone. I haven't got that app installed for this user. Interesting. All right, I'll just switch back users so you can come back to see me again. I'll just switch back to there. I'll go back to Jeff. Switching to Jeff. Okay. And we're back again, hopefully. All right. All right. Start stream. Okay. And there we are. We're back again. Okay. Oh, didn't I show that? Okay. So we're back again. All right. So there are different users on a phone, and each user has a different set of menus and stuff like that. So we tried changing the user to my wife's setup as a user, and then went into the Google thing, and it didn't make any slightest bit of difference at all. Okay. So the next situation we're at, we said, rightio, what we'll do is we'll, even though we're switched over to using her as the Google user, it's probably still using my daughter's one as well because that's also installed on the phone. So we'll delete my daughter's account off the phone. Okay. To be able to do that, before we did, to be able to do that, we went through, I'll double swipe down again, right? 2 fingers, all right? Go into settings. Right, I didn't go into that one. I went into go into settings. Touch the little cog. It takes me into settings. Go to accounts again. There's accounts there. All right. Going into accounts. All right. Going into the Google account. All right. Okay. And on my wife's phone, it's got my daughter's account, and her daughter had a couple of accounts, and as well as her own account. So we thought we'd just delete one. So I'll show you what happens when we go to delete one. So the way to delete it is, first of all, you've got to select one. So I'm selecting that one there by touching it. So I'm touching that. Okay. Then up on the top right-hand corner, there's a little menu. So I'm going to touch on that. Okay. Touching that. And it says remove account. So I'm going to touch on remove account. I'm not going to remove this account, but I'll show you what happens in a minute. It says remove account, and it comes up with this message. And the message says, removing this account will delete all of its messages, contacts, and other data from the phone. Cancel or remove account. My wife saw this straight away and said, oh, I don't want to remove all the other data from the phone because that's my daughter's data. I don't want to remove that. It's okay to remove the messages and contacts because we already made a backup of that. And that's another story again, making backups of messages and contacts. Big hassle, but anyway, I might do another video on that altogether. But my wife didn't want to remove that because reading that literally, and I don't know where the comma is there, but it says, removing this account will delete all of its messages, comma, contacts, and other data from the phone. All right, so that means it's going to remove all the data from the phone, which my wife didn't want to do. She didn't want to remove my daughter's data, so she hasn't done that. So at the moment, she's frantically going through copying the data from the phone to a computer. All right, and that's another issue again. The phone that she had wouldn't connect via USB to do that, so I've had to do it via Wi-Fi, so it's very slow. Because she's worried if she removes the account, it's going to do that. I'm of the impression that if it says remove the account, it removes other Google data, not other data on the phone. But who knows? These messages are very, very small and convoluted. All right. But anyway, that's what the basic problem is. So obviously the best situation is there is a thing on a phone where what you can do is say, and I'm going to cancel that, I'm not going to do that. There is a thing on the phone where what you can do is say, right, I want to do a factory reset of the phone. So it does a complete factory reset. Everything of the old account is wiped out completely. And then you, all the data is wiped and everything. And then you can probably start using it. And that will probably be okay then, I think. I'm not sure. But they're the problems we have. The big situation that needs to be is I've looked on the internet and looked at how can you, get make the location data work. It tells me how to use location situations in on Google. It tells me all sorts of things like that, but it doesn't tell me how to reset one person that's had previously had a phone. It doesn't say anything about that. Perhaps it's just a something on their part. But anyway, that's the situation. Just by the way, all these settings that I've got on the screen here up the top here, you'll notice right up the top here, it's showing me where my cursor position is, and also it's putting a little crosshair on there. It's drawing on the screen. That's done with what's called developer settings, right? I might do another video on that later on, how you can have developer settings so you can show where what your finger is on the screen. You can see where I've been drawing my finger on the screen there. When I take my finger off, right, and then touch another spot, it all disappears, as you can see. All right, that's it for the moment. So that's just one of the problems of using a phone, somebody else's old phone, and the complications of accounts and users, and also all the data that's on the phone. That's another thing I haven't even described is where all the data is on the phone and how to copy it all and back it all up and stuff like that. There's heaps of problems associated with that. And as I said, definitely with messages and contacts as well. That's enough for the moment. Any questions, email me. Bye.